Well, you put your pick in between your first finger and your thumb. You want to kind of make a 90-degree angle right there between your thumb and the downward point of the pick. Now your first finger is kind of pointing out a little bit, almost at a 45-degree angle, out underneath that pick. You've got, what is that, about a half an inch showing? And that's about how much you need to have as far as your pick. You don't want to be up too high or out too wide on it. About a half an inch, and you want to hold it with a good strong grip. One more thing we need to talk about with our right hand is bracing. What that is as we're playing the different strings, your hand is going to need some place that it can reference itself from. Whether it's playing the second string or the fourth string or the third string, it's going to get confused pretty quickly, you'll find, unless it's anchored somewhere. So a good place to start, different guitar players do it different ways, but a good place to start is to just put your pinky and let it touch the soundboard. I don't really particularly care where, and it doesn't have to touch hard. It just needs to touch. It just helps your hand know where it's at and what it needs to do. All right, let's try and pick a couple of these different strings and get some practice picking the strings. Let's do the first string. You ready? Let's go. Okay. What about the third string? What's the name of that third string? Do you remember? Here we go. The third string. Very good. The fifth string. Do you remember the name of that one? Very good. Now, that's the right hand. Let's talk about the left hand as well. Left hand, this is going to be the hand that you're going to be using to fret the different notes with. How this works, as far as the guitar is concerned, you've got 4 fingers on this hand. You don't really use your thumb. Some country players do use their thumb to kind of reach over and catch some of the lower bass notes, but it's pretty tricky to do that and not really all that effective. So we're going to go ahead and bring that wrist down and put this hand out like such. You want to make sure that there's air space right here. You don't want your wrist to be way up like this or gripping the guitar very hard like that. It needs to be down a little bit. You've got a little bit of airspace in between there. Now let's put our first finger on the first fret. Okay? Where do we put our finger? Well, anywhere between here and here is fair game. But having said that, right up behind the fret is the easiest place to press it down with, and you get the best sound from it. Not on the fret. A lot of folks think you might put your finger on the fret. Not at all. That gets this kind of funky muted sound. Is not quite what you're going for. You want to be hugging up right behind that fret. Okay, ready? We're on the first string with our first finger. We're going to pick over here. We're bracing our hand, and we're going to do this first string. You ready? Let's play it together. Do it again. And one more time. That's with our first finger. Now your first finger is going to cover anything that happens on any of the strings in this first fret. Your second finger is going to cover anything that happens on any of the strings on this second fret. Let's try second finger. So we release the first finger and put our second finger down here. Okay, now let's try the third. So we put third down nice and strong, release the others up. Now some of you may be getting a buzzing sort of a sound, kind of like this. If your fingers aren't strong enough to get good contact with that string to that fretboard, you kind of end up with this buzzy sound. All that's telling you is you're not making a good enough contact. You got to make sure that finger's hugging up right close back behind that fret. That's the easiest place to put it down. And there, you want to make sure you're getting a nice, good, clear sound. Okay, now let's do pinky. Pinky's going to be the weakest of all of your fingers, so you're going to really have to put him down strong. Let's try the pinky. Very good. You want to make